using sex toys. Sex toys aren't just for masturbation. They can be used in the couple, too.
Yeah,
So,
but some guys get so defensive, like, oh, you need this, I'm not enough for you, so you have to always, I'm sure you tell them they have to talk about it first, make sure nobody's nose is getting out of joint, right?
Exactly. You've got to have that conversation. Obviously, you're not going to stretch boundaries without having open conversations about sex. That's ridiculous. Because you're not going to come into the bedroom one day and say, let me blindfold, gag you, and tie you up, and never have spoken about some of these things before.
That's the boundaries.
That's not good. Yeah, that's not how you do it. And then, then I talk also about other things that people can try that isn't for everybody, but I certainly know couples in their 50s who have gone that route, and that is to have open marriages.
Mm-hmm.
They experiment with the boundaries of sexual permission, if you will, right?
Yeah. I've always been very wary of that particular aspect because, I know Gwyneth and her partner got into, was it Gwyneth or who was it who got into the open marriage thing? Oh, it was Demi.
Was she?
Yes, and it got so messed up because so often what happens in these cases, it's like, well, now you're more turned on by this one than by me, and then the jealousies. And so it's a real slippery slope. I'm always wary of that,
Right. And in fact, in my book, I talk a lot about this, that if you're going to go that route, you better have some very clear, you better think very clearly about the factors that you need to consider because like you said, how will I feel if my partner seems to be enjoying his lover more than he enjoys me, for example? Or what if that new partner has more stamina than me? What if that new partner has a bigger penis than me? Is it going to affect me?
What a can of worms, really.
Exactly. So you are treading, you have to go there very, very carefully, and you have to have a lot of rules. So in the book, I actually give out a whole bunch of rules that you need to be there so that you don't, to minimize that risk, if you will.
Yeah, and then the thing is, too, you don't know how you're going to feel until you feel, and then you can't bolt the barn door after the horse has fled. So I'm always...
Once it's done, Jamie, you cannot turn back. Can I just tell you the story of one couple that I met? So he was after his wife to have a more open marriage. And for years and years, he kept saying, come on, let's have a polyamorous relationship. Let's have an open relationship where you can have, you can have other partners. I can have other partners. And she was always very resistant to it until finally she says, okay, fine. This is what you want. Fine, we'll do it. She is the first one to find another partner. He, of course, then he goes nuts. He freaked out. It was not good. And then she realized, hey, you know what? I kind of like this. I'm okay with this. Now he can't turn back the clock.
No, you cannot. You can't unring that bell.
That's right.
Right. So often, a lot of times, actually I've talked a lot about this recently, all this, polyamory is the solution for monogamy, which doesn't work. Well, guess what?
No.
If you figure out how to work your conflicts out, monogamy works just fine. Sidestepping the problems, well, I'll just go and open the relationship. Well, that doesn't solve it. You just take your problems into another relationship.
First of all, one thing for certain, if you're going to have an open relationship, you cannot have issues in your relationship. Only the relationships that are very solid, very open in terms of their communication can do this. If this is not an answer to a problematic relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do people know when they need, because we only have 2 minutes, and I want to make sure people know how to find you. So, you and I could talk probably for 10 days.
Oh, yes.
So probably you just have to come back. That's what we're going to do.
Good.
And then we'll just talk more. So let's just make sure, because I want everybody to know how to find you. Say the name of your book again. Let's do that.
Sure. All right. So the book it's just out this week, in fact, in bookstores. The Sex Bible for People Over 50, The Complete Guide to Sexual Love for Mature Couples. It's a quiver book, and it's available everywhere, and it's in hardcover. I can be heard nightly on a radio station, and you can listen to it online as well, cjad.com, and the show is called Passion, and it's on Eastern Time, 10 to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, and my website is drlaurie.com. That's DRLAURIE.com.
Well, I have to say, this is our first meeting, but I have an immediate passion for you.
Likewise, Jamie, likewise. I can't wait to have you on my show.
Oh, yeah, so you'll email me after, and then we'll hook up, and we'll make that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
All righty? And I just glad you don't live closer, because I have a feeling you and I would be just hanging out all the time.
I'm going to come visit you. Now that I know you're not so far away, I'm going to come visit you.
Oh, how exciting. I'm thrilled. All righty. So I'm not going to say goodbye. I'll say we'll talk soon, and I'll see you all next week on Ask Dr. Love Radio.